Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Convincing Idiots. Please stay tuned because on this week we are discussing our idiot reviews, as always, as well as some pop culture headlines, including Phantom of the Opera. Also, we will be doing our idiot inquiry, which we are discussing paddling in schools. For it, against it, how do we feel? Also, our main topic for tonight, stay tuned to the very end, we are discussing badassery and some of our all-time favorite badasses. So you're not going to want to miss it. Be sure to stick around. So, without further ado, let's start the show.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian, Gen X.
And my name is Nicholas, and I am a millennial. And if you are any of these age groups or not, it doesn't matter. We welcome you. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We are Convincing Idiots. We are a group of three friends who get together on a weekly basis to discuss nerd and pop culture things that tickle our fancies any given week. So if you've not already done so, please, we encourage you to go like, subscribe, rate, review, and all the other functions that you can do on all of our social media accounts. And rather than giving you addresses for all of them, why don't I just send you off into the world with the Convincing Idiots link tree? All you have to do, very simple, go to google.com, type in Convincing Idiots, Linktree, Linkttree, and there you will find our link tree. And you will find links to all the social media accounts in which I strongly suggest, and we strongly suggest you go like, subscribe, rate, review, all those things. You can also find that information on our website. That is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. You can find all that information, so much more. There are little tidbits about us. There are different podcast platforms in which you can listen to our voices. And if all of these wonderful tools are not enough and you're looking for more Convincing Idiots in your life, feel free to go and check out our friends at Boss Code Media. Okay, that is an app on your smart TV or your phone. They have all kinds of unique creator content for you, including ourselves and our friends. Brian's side project, we'll call it. It came from Gen X, is also on there. So go check us out. Go check those boys out over there. And in the meantime, settle in. You are in for a lovely evening with two fine gentlemen and one guy there as well. So anyway,
I don't
gentleman
like how
Brian,
you're down on yourself.
gentleman
Nick.
Brian.
What? Your self-esteem needs to be raised higher.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Yes. Brian, what have you been up to in the last week? How have you been?
Doing well. A long week at work, so I've been very spoiled with being able to work from home most of the time here, but we have some business.
You have to go into work all week long?
At 8 a.m. All day long meetings and
That's preposterous.
yes.
Dumb.
So
How
it's
dare the workforce make you work?
yeah, I'm not crazy. It's like you forget. Yeah,
The podcasting is not your actual job.
yeah, that's right.
Ah, shit.
You
Not a
can't
real job.
forget that you're there. It's like, oh man, it actually is. It's when you're working from home a lot and you're back in that environment. It's like it is a definite reminder that this is the company you work. This is what normal, working in an office is like. So, but it is good to see people. Meetings are productive. They've been buying us lunch every day, which is also a nice little perk. So
That is always
it's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's a nice experience to see people, and had a nice dinner last evening with my boss and two of my peers, including Anita, who's one of our earlier fans, been listening to us for a very long time. So if you're listening, Anita, hello, and thank you for your support. Went to a nice restaurant in downtown Hudson, Ohio.
Hold on.
Nice.
I have to interrupt. I know you say that, I'm sure these are lovely people, but Brian, you have no peers.
Yeah, that's right.
There could be only one Podlander.
That's right.
That's right.
So, right. Well, we all report to the same boss. How about that? So we'll put it that way. But no, but it was nice. The Tomato Grill. So if you're in the Hudson area, it was a very nice, casual-ish, but a little upscale Italian restaurant. Very, very good food. Excellent service. So if you're in the Hudson area, definitely go check them out. But yeah, so good week overall. Looking forward to the weekend though, to recharge, spend some time with friends and family and all that good stuff. So that's what I've been up to. How about you, Dean?
Oh, good. It's my turn. I didn't know you guys wanted to talk to me.
Well, you were right. So anyway, this week, Brian, what I did. Go ahead.
I didn't do nothing.
Nothing?
You don't deserve to hear my amazing life and all it entails. You get nothing. You lose.
Nothing.
Good day, sir. Just been working a lot, and we're not doing reviews yet, but very excited. I got to watch the first episode of Quantum Leap, which I will review.
Good.
I got to hang out with Brian last night.
Yes,
a little bit.
Yes. Nice evening. Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad we didn't invite Nick. That made it a lot better.
Is that why?
No, I don't know. It's everything's good. I got a cat next to me. He's neat.
Ernie, it's my friend. Ernie's
not your goddamn friend.
Ernie's my friend. He loves me.
You stop that. He's my friend.
That pussy love me.
I'm gonna. If he'd actually come and sit with me, I'd have him do it right now and rub it in your face. But he doesn't like me that much.
Make him choose on air right now. Tell the listener.
He's already chosen. He's sitting with Megan.
Okay.
He chooses neither of us.
Well, I didn't know she was part of the. I'm saying between you and I. I know I can't beat her, but yes.
Right. Okay. So yep, that's about it. I'm not a whole lot. I'm working a lot. So other than that, we're good. Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, tell us about your amazing, beautiful, wonderful life. Or lying,
it's so beautiful and wonderful. It is beautiful and wonderful. What did we do this week? Oh, we hung out. I don't know what we did Friday. I can't remember. Surely we did something. We had soccer on Saturday morning, and then after that, my mother was kind enough to take the children, and Robin and I took a little trip to Ann Arbor, Michigan. So it was a very nice day, nice little getaway for us. We did some shopping. We walked around and just checked out some local shops and things like that. Got a hotel for the night, stayed there. Nice, just beautiful place we stayed at. Had a jacuzzi tub like in the room and stuff.
Wow.
So it was just really nice, like just relaxing.
Now, are you jacuzzi
getaway.
people? Like, did you both sit there and use it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got very fresh with your sister. It was awesome. It was a good time.
All right.
Nice jacuzzi tub experience. It was. I mean, I'm as you guys know. All joking aside, I am a hot tub person. Hot tub
you
is
definitely
the dream.
are.
A hot tub in my on my back patio is a goal at some point for me. Like I at some point in life, I need to get to a place where I can own my very own hot tub.
I'm not opposed to that being your
person.
nickname, being Hot Tub Nick.
Hot Tub Nick. Yeah, I like
Hot Tub Nick has a real good ring to it. You have the Podlander, and Hot Tub Nick, and
Hot Tub Nick.
I like that.
Yeah, and Yap Yap, or was it?
Well, there was Yap Yap, and there was Drunky
the Sloth Bear. The Sloth Bear.
Yeah.
That's right.
I like it. I like it.
I like Yap Yap. Sounds a little more adorable.
Yeah. It's a cuter version of what it is you do with the yapping. But
or you can combine the two instead of you have Yap Yap and Drunky and call me Lap Lap.
Lap Lap.
You're lapping up the alcohol. Lap Lap.
I like that. Lap Lap the Sloth Bear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
not bad.
So, but no, it was a nice little getaway. We enjoyed ourselves, and but yeah, enjoyed had our own private jacuzzi. So that was nice. But even if there was just a hot tub like in the area, like I'd definitely be hitting a hot tub. I love hot tub living is the kind of living for
Mhm.
Nick.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but yeah, that was about it. And then just doing some stuff around the house when we got back on Sunday, and I think that pretty much wraps it up. Just a nice little weekend getaway for us. So
Nice.
I like when you go to Michigan. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah, good times
Mhm.
had by all.
Mhm. Little
Yeah.
souvenirs.
Sure.
Yep, did get some souvenirs. Yeah,
Yeah, he
Hit up-
brings me
hit
a
up-
souvenir every time.
Hit
Excellent.
up the M Den while I was there, as the multi-floor U of M shop right on campus. So that's where we were walking around. We were on the south part of the campus, I think it was, of U of M. So that was kind of cool because, I mean, it was obviously the game was over by the time we got there. It's a 3-hour drive to Ann Arbor, but because we had to coach soccer and stuff, we couldn't get there till about 3:00, which, the game was well over by then. But everybody's still out, and the streets are flooded with the maize and gold, and everybody's on campus, and it was a really good time. Oh, and I forgot to tell you about this place we ate at down there called Haymaker. That's what it was called. Haymaker
Okay.
Public House.
Haymaker.
It was a nice bar right on Michigan campus. And I had a brewski burger that had beer cheese on it, and caramelized onions, and big old strips of bacon. It was delicious.
Sounds
So if
good.
you ever find yourself in Ann Arbor, Michigan, go check out Haymaker Public House. Delicious. And hopefully no one from there is listening, but Robin stole me one of the glasses that I drank my beer out of, so I got a little souvenir
Nice.
from there too. Look at that.
Nice.
Thievery.
It's not our first time. I remember years ago we were at a bar and there was a Guinness pint glass, and I wanted it, so I handed it to her and she put it in her purse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have multiple. I think our first date, she stole like a wasabi dish, like a little
First date, like she right out of the gate, she's like, "I'm a fucking thief. I just
yeah.
need you to know this."
Yeah, I have a Molson glass from a bar somewhere that she got me one time. I think a Labatt one. Yeah, so that's all you gotta do is just give her the look. Like, I kind of like this.
She's
There
a
you go.
serial
She'll
thief.
make it happen.
Mhm.
That's right. So, no, that's a made up story.
Maybe she could steal some manhood for
if
you.
anyone's listening, Robin doesn't steal things from establishments, so
Nope, of course not.
that would be true. That would be nice.
She
so I would
stole your
appreciate some
heart.
manhood. She sure did.
Mhm.
Well, that is
I felt
adorable.
gross even after saying it. I don't like that was a thing. So let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Do you want you to start then with idiot reviews? You mentioned you saw something that you have been waiting
Quantum
for
Leap
for
for
a long
30
time.
years.
Mhm.
30 years.
The show's been off the air for 30 years?
Yeah.
When did it
Real?
start?
What?
It's Quantum Leap started in 1989. It only ran for
Okay.
like 4 seasons or
Okay.
5 seasons, something like that.
Okay. So this is a time travel thing, right? I never heard
Yes.
of Quantum Leap before I met you. So
that's absurd.
it's a time travel. You said it was on for 4 seasons and it started in 89. Why would I know about it?
It's a cultural phenomenon.
You're the only person's mouth I've ever heard it come out of. It's not a cultural phenomenon.
It's I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1989 to 1993. So,
Okay.
Gosh.
and the newest reiteration, it is a sequel. Like it continues
okay.
the story. It continues with a new set of people kind of trying to figure out what the old project was about and why the original leaper, Sam Beckett, never returned home, and like the secrets to it and what happened. And the one guy gets into the accelerator and leaps, and they're trying to figure out why he leapt early without telling anybody. And so he's now leaping through time into other people's body. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept, Nick, but he'll leap into somebody and he will see, like, everybody else in that timeline at that moment sees the person.
So, for example, like you're possessing someone else's physical form, like
Yes.
you're Abraham Lincoln now or something, or
Yes.
whatever. Okay.
Correct. And then he has a person, a hologram, somebody that's like matched to his neurons. So they get into an imaging chamber in the current day and project everything around him. So the person in the past sees this person as a hologram, and that person is in an imaging chamber seeing everything around him as a hologram.
Okay.
And he's there to help them. He can tell them, what the original timeline was. And
so they know what's happening. The person that he's in their body knows what's happening?
No, the person that he's leapt into goes into his body that is at the project in like a waiting room.
Okay. They're in the lobby.
Yeah, so to speak.
Okay.
He has to solve a problem or help them fix something.
Yes. Yeah, he has to solve a specific thing because they're never sure of how or why it happens, but God, fate, time, something is leaping the leaper around, and he has to put right that went wrong, in order to leap. So he has to fix something that went bad in this person's life at the moment, and then he can leap to the next. Or in his eyes, he was hoping to leap home. But Sam Beckett, the original leaper from the original Quantum Leap, never leapt home. He just bounced around time for the last 30 years. And that's what this story is about now, is trying to figure out why and what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you had never seen the original Quantum Leap. I assume this is easy enough to follow along with as its own standalone
They do
series,
a lot
where you don't. It ties
correct.
in, so it's good. It's good little Easter eggs for someone like you who watched the original one. But you could pick this up right now and watch it and not know shit about the first one.
Yeah, because like any pilot episode, especially something that is the story's a little complex, they give enough lip service to where they sit there and over explain. Like, why would you explain that to somebody that already knows the prep? You know what I mean? Like these two people, and they actually kind of poke at it. Like the one person's in a computer going and pretty much explains the premise to this girl, and she goes, "Yeah, I've been here since the beginning. I know all that." You know what I mean? So they know that they have to explain everything to people that haven't seen it. Megan had never seen Quantum Leap before, and she enjoyed it. She said she's willing to watch it. She says it's a neat premise, and she's willing to, watch the next episode. It did 3.5 million people Monday. So it's a good start. It's a
cultural
it's a good
phenomenon.
Show. Yeah, I mean it's like any pilot episode. It adds its flaws, and it's you can poke holes in it, and it's not but it definitely gives you excitement for the next episode and the upcoming season. So
the big reveal is that Scott Bakula, the original Leaper, is I think Kim Kardashian. Nick, I think that's what it's going to.
Oh, okay.
It's stuck in her body. Yep.
Okay. That's where he's chosen to stay.
Yep.
I'm still here.
The last season of the original Quantum Leap, they did start leaping him into celebrities. Because they were searching for ratings and trying to stay on the air. So he was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay.
He was Elvis.
All right.
He was Marilyn Monroe's bodyguard. Stuff like that. But normally it's just normal people, everyday people. It wasn't meant to be into like celebrities or change actual big things and stuff.
Like that show Medium. That remember? Did you ever watch that with Arquette, where she would she'd have to figure out what happened to somebody, just a random person, but she could talk to dead people and figure out how to help them or what happened.
Yeah, just everyday people. And then he would have you call them kisses with history. Like things would be happening in the background, or he had inadvertently changed something. Like one episode, it was just a mundane episode about like a love life for somebody, and at the end, there's this kid sitting on a stoop playing a guitar, singing a song, and he's singing to a pig. He's calling him Piggy Sue, and Sam goes, "Why don't you change that to Peggy?" And he changed it to Peggy Sue. And you realize that it's Buddy Holly, and he just created Buddy Holly. Little stuff like that.
So he saves a high school relationship and be like, oh, it all worked out for him. Like, but the Nazis won the war, so that's kind of where we're at now. You win some, you lose some. What you gonna
kill
do?
baby Hitler, but inadvertently create AIDS.
This week our leaper leaps into Sofia Vergara's bicycle seat.
I'm staying.
Yeah, hey, there's no need for me to leap anymore. I'm good.
Seat might leap up a little bit higher, but that's about it.
See,
Yep.
actually, Sam
Okay.
Beckett
You
is
guys are
gonna.
filthy.
Sam Beckett's
Right.
actually going to leap into to Brian and trying to get him to not to do this fucking podcast.
Save
This is what went-
yourself.
This is what went
What?
wrong.
What am I doing with my life?
He looks in the mirror and goes, "Good
fucking
Lord, this
years.
is a handsome guy."
2 fucking
Right.
years. Yeah.
2
years?
fucking years.
Yeah.
2 fucking years.
Almost coming up on 2 years. Yeah.
2 years of
Uh,
fucking.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Dean? So you definitely enjoyed it, recommend it?
Yeah, like I said, I've been working a lot, so I haven't been able to get to the newest episode.
You can keep
of-
saying it, but we're not going to believe you.
I know. But there's Andor I didn't get to watch that dropped
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Me either.
There's
Yep.
She-Hulk that dropped today.
Yep.
Yeah, there's. But I have watched the episode of Quantum Leap twice, so.
Okay.
But
All right. Nick, how about you, sir? Anything interesting?
I have just been watching. I watched the next couple episodes of Mike, which I brought up before, the Mike Tyson show. And real quick, I don't want to necessarily. I've already said how much I enjoy the show and everything, but I would like to review a specific episode and kind of give them praise for making it this way. Every episode of Mike, have either of you watched any episodes of it or anything like that? Okay.
not yet.
So I've
Like I
described to
said,
you
I
before.
watched like 10 minutes of the first episode.
It starts out, it's kind of, he's narrating his life, right? It's like he's he's doing his one-man show, and it's like, the actor, but he's present day Mike, he's got the face tattoo and stuff, and, the beard, he's bald, so he's Mike Tyson as you see him now, but he's talking about his life and the way he was feeling at the time, and he's kind of narrating his life for you in all these episodes. And then the most recent episode that I watched was the one about his rape, him raping the young woman from the Miss America pageant and all that stuff. And for this episode, I found it very interesting, and I really liked the way they did it. You don't hear from Mike Tyson at all in this. There is his side of the story is irrelevant, and it's the victim or the survivor talking, speaking to her side of it. She's kind of narrating it. And I thought it was really cool because I was kind of like, you're watching the story, and we all kind of now have this, reverence for Mike Tyson, that he's just kind of this lovable, like misunderstood, whatever, and certainly had a rough past and all that thing, and all those things. But, in an instance like this, you kind of, you forget about stuff like that, he was involved with. And I thought it was really cool that they didn't look to try to humanize his side of it. They didn't try to, make sure that you're still focused on this is, that you're still rooting for him or anything like that. That episode was about her, and he was involved in it, but it was about her. And I thought that was really well done, that they didn't shy away from it, because it would have been easy to make a Mike Tyson, kind of like a Puff series about him. But in this one, this specific episode, they turn the attention away from him, and it's about the survivor, and she talks, and it kind of follows her through. And it's a tough watch.
Sure.
It's definitely a trigger warning for anybody that's experienced any sort of sexual assault or anything like that. But it's a good episode. I thought it was really important that the way that they did it, so I just wanted to quickly kind of shout out that episode and review that. But today I watched the first 2 episodes of a new Hulu show called Reboot. Have you guys seen any trailers for this?
Yes, I've been wanting to see it.
Yeah, so it's just real brief. It's the story of a girl who pitches to a network, to Hulu as a matter of fact, that she would like to reboot an old probably like it would have been late 80s, early 90s, sitcom, with the same cast, kind of like a Fuller House, right? They're bringing back this popular sitcom and bringing back the original cast. Keegan-Michael Key's in it. Who else? Oh, Johnny Knoxville. I can't remember the actress's name, but she's great. She was like the snobby friend in like 13 Going on 30 that, I can never remember her name, but
Judy Greer.
That's it. Yep. She's in it.
And I didn't even look it up. That actually was.
There you go. Yeah.
I was going to it as soon as I did it. But
yeah, it's very good. But the underlying issue is like there's a lot of leftover animosity from when they were, on air before, and a lot of them have been through a lot of different things. You got a serious actor in the mix. You got somebody who's doing stand up and been in and out of jail, and other, just all these, people's lives have gone in different ways, and they're now being brought back together to do this show, to reboot this show. So it's kind of a fun thing because, yeah, it is funny. It's really good. I think you guys would enjoy it.
It's going to be interesting when that happens to us in many years from now, when we try to bring back and reboot this podcast.
Yep. That's right, yeah, because of the demand from the fans. Absolutely.
Of course.
My mom has been hounding me for years. When are you going to do that podcast again? I'm like, Mom, we'll reboot it. We'll just reboot it. So, yeah.
Can you imagine, let's face it, I'll be the one in and out of jail doing stand-up.
Right.
Nick's going to end up being, oddly, the serious actor.
Yeah.
And Brian's just left doing porn, and he's like, fine, I'll come back.
Sure. Brian's left being the real reason that my mom is requesting we get the show back together. Right. So there you go.
Well, that's right. She keeps seeing him a lot.
Of course. Yeah, but definitely I recommend it. It's a good show. It's funny. It's kind of fun because there's so many reboots now of ideas and old shows, and let's bring this back and do this again with different people or the same people. So it's just kind of a funny. It's kind of ironic that it's like it's a fresh take on it, but it's not, because it's just, but it you know what I mean, you get it. But it's a good show. I like it. I've watched the first 2 episodes so far, and I liked it a lot. So it's on Hulu. It's a Hulu exclusive called Reboot.
Okay, I will check that out.
Yeah.
Very
What about
good.
you, Brian? You watched anything interesting? You haven't watched Andor either? When you guys both said you haven't watched, I'm like, wouldn't that be the real shitter? If I watched it, I'm like, you guys didn't see Andor?
Well, because didn't they drop, isn't the first
3?
Like 3 or 4.
First 3, yeah.
Yep. Haven't seen that yet. I've been keeping up with She-Hulk. It's still pretty good. I mean, last week was total courtroom comedy. It was like no action whatsoever. So again, if you like the tone they're taking with the show,
did you watch today's?
I have not watched today's yet. No, but still, it's still interesting. And I picked up also on Hulu. Watched the first few episodes of The Patient with Steve Carell from The Office. You remember, and Domhnall Gleeson. I'm mispronouncing his name. So he plays the patient. So, I mean, you see it on the preview. Basically, Steve Carell wakes up and he's chained to a bed, and his patient, the character's name is Sam Fortner, has kidnapped him and wants to continue therapy in his home because he's uncomfortable to open up elsewhere. And you learn things quickly. So obviously he's already, it's a very intense and frightening experience to wake up, kidnapped. But yeah, Steve Carell's so good. I mean, he's this is not a comedy. This is a total drama, a little bit of dark comedy, maybe a little bit, but it's definitely more of a drama for sure. And Steve Carell, he's just a solid actor. He's very, very good in this, as is Domhnall
That's
Jack
what
Gleeson.
I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That Steve Carell was a solid actor? I knew it.
No.
Can you tell us?
Hold on. Let me real quick.
We are holding on. You're not saying anything, so now we're just bored and asking questions.
Yeah. Domhnall Gleeson is General Hux from the new Star Wars.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I thought it was. I just wanted to double check.
That's right.
So I didn't seem like, yeah,
that they turn into a total. It's a weird ending for that character. Yeah. Anyway, that's right. He did look familiar, but yeah, he's very, very good in this. But yeah, solid. Go check it out. It's like every episode's like 20 some minutes. It's like up to like 5 or 6 episodes now. Something like that.
That is kind of weird for a drama to be like 20 minutes.
Yeah, 24, 30 minutes. Per episode. But
generally,
it's fine.
They have like an hour episode. Which with commercials breaks down to like 40 some minutes, whatever. But
not the story they're telling. Not needed. It's it's mainly those 2 characters and
quick
some of the characters they introduce. Yeah, definitely quick watch.
Okay. And you watched all of them, or just first few?
Just the first few. So I think it's only like 5 or 6 out there, and I'm up to like episode 4 or something like that. But it definitely hooked me right away. So I watched as many as I could in the time I had left in the other evening before I had to get to sleep. So, so go check that out. The Patient on Hulu. I can't remember if I mentioned that I finished Cobra Kai season 5. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not. I was watching it, but I did see the finale.
I haven't
Very
got
good.
to any of it yet.
Yeah, so hang with that. Good stuff. And I started to watch. They've brought back Archer, the animated series on FX.
Been told how good that is.
13 already, and it's just hilarious. It's a very just goofy spy comedy. The animation is awesome. Voice actors are awesome. So yeah, definitely go check that out. If you again, it's a 100% adult themed cartoon, not for kids whatsoever. But if you like the James Bondish type spoofy type of stuff, but very adult humor, a lot of fun. So check out Archer season 13 on FX and also streaming on Hulu. That's what I got.
And my last thing that I'm going to review, it'll be a slight review, but it'll also be reviewed throughout the show. Just to let you guys know that if I seem a little distracted occasionally, it's because the Browns-Steelers game is on the TV behind you guys. So
okay, very good.
And we are in the third.
What's the score?
14-13 Steelers. So I will keep you posted.
Real barn burner. Two teams going. Yeah, making a real run at the Super Bowl this year.
Just a fucking bloodbath.
Here's my Browns take. There's a guy that named Chubb or something? Is there a guy
Chubb
for the Browns? Okay.
You're one of the best running backs in the league, actually.
So he's a current player right now.
One of the best running backs in the league.
It cracks me up when I see I've noticed people recently walking around town wearing
full
things
Chubb.
Just say Chubb on it, and it's hilarious to me.
Full Chubb. I mean,
that's his name, whatever. But
next season
just says Chubb, and I'm like, hilarious. Yeah, up top for Chubb. Is that a custom jersey? Did you make that? Yeah.
I love
Chubb. Same Chubb.
In my hand, in my mouth, anywhere. I love it.
Chubb.
That's right. Well, another thing you're gonna love here, guys, is
Chubb.
Our main Chubb, sure, and our main topic this evening, badasses. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite badasses. Could be.
Can we start?
Could be athletes. Could be fictional characters. It could be scenes of someone was a badass. Could be real people. Whatever.
I've done a lot of research, so you want to stay tuned. And I really can't even contain myself. I want to start now and tell you about the biggest badass, which is Aaron Blake. Oh my God, I researched this guy, and let me tell you what I found. I've done a lot of research. Aaron Blake with Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359. What? Yep, I'll say it again. 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com on those interwebs for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell that badass, give me the best insurance you got. Give me the most affordable insurance you got. And you know what he'll say? I am a badass, and I will give you what you need.
What? Yep.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very
I like
good.
the what? Yep.
What?
Yep.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back first with some pop culture headlines and our idiot inquiry
Chubb.
of the week. Does Nick know who Nick Chubb is?
I do now. He's a Browns guy. He's a Browns guy.
Nick Chubb is what he calls what's in his pants.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
Hey,
working on
Nick
it.
Chubb.
I'm working on it. Is his name Nick Chubb?
It is.
Yeah.
I got my own Nick Chubb.
There you go. Excellent. All right, we'll let Nick play with his Chubb for a minute, and we'll be right back.
can't escape. You better get them before they get you.
PlayStation.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. You know,
the show we do on the other side of the show.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. If you just missed a good conversation where you're probably happier now after dating me in your life, so that's fine. So it's a good thing.
Line up, girls, if you're looking for the one after the one.
That's right. But it's a good. But you know what? We hope that you're enjoying me and everybody here now and having fun, and so that's it. So maybe the next episode will be even better. This is
the setup episode for the next one.
The next podcast you find you're going to love.
The next one's going to be your dream episode.
I was trying to provoke people to listen to more of our episodes, is to say keep that's a good repeat. Whatever episode you're listening to, the next one's going to be the best one. So just keep listening to the next one always.
I like that.
That's right.
Or go listen to another podcast like Dean and Brian watch too, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
What is this happening?
We're seeing Star Wars Legos on the screen.
Legos.
Yeah. We got Maul. We got.
I'm doing this because I was honestly asked to. So Carter,
very nice.
There you
nice
go.
collection. We got Darth Maul up there too.
Very
nice. We got all sorts of Star Wars Legos. He asked me, so I figured this would be a proper time to display his Lego masterpiece.
Tell Carter to build me Cloud City, and then I'll be impressed.
Carter, you heard him. He don't listen to this. Nobody does.
Did you guys see that? By the way, look this up. Speaking of that, somebody built like this enormous Millennium Falcon Lego. Have you seen this? Look this up. It's like take up this guy's like whole room or something like that. It's pretty amazing. You should go check that out. Anyway, so you can always look forward to our next episode. But one thing you cannot look forward to anymore coming up here in pop culture headlines is the Phantom of the Opera. The Phantom of the Opera. Yes. The Phantom of the Opera is it's the longest running show in Broadway history. It's going to close after 35 years.
Wow. Of the Opera is here inside my mind.
Oh.
Yes, almost 14,000 shows this thing's been running. So pretty extraordinary.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but some of these are fucking huge. These Millennium Falcon Lego sets. Holy shit.
I saw one the other day. It was just pretty enormous. Anyway, I've never seen it.
Yes.
Have you guys ever seen Phantom of the Opera? Have you ever seen it?
I saw the movie version of the play.
Okay.
With Gerard Butler?
No, it was years ago when it's like, you know how they did where you during the pandemic that they did the where they showed Hamilton, where they just recorded the stage, and I watched a version of that many years ago. I know they redid it and made it into like a movie.
Yeah,
I didn't see that, but I've seen a production filmed on the stage.
Okay.
But it's many years ago when I was younger. But I know Robin, Nick, your wife, I think she went to Toronto to see it.
I believe you're right.
That was the long running. Yeah, they had it up there for a long time.
Yeah.
I never saw it. Nick, you ever seen it?
I've never seen it all the way through. I'm ashamed to say. However, I am very familiar with the soundtrack for it because my mom and dad went to Toronto when I was a kid to go see Phantom of the Opera. And the reason they went was because the Phantom of the Opera was being portrayed by none other than Paul Stanley of Kiss. So when they got back, this is back in the days of, Napster and LimeWire and all this stuff. My dad found someone on one of those sites that had recorded Paul Stanley doing all the songs. So my dad had those downloaded. He was incredible. To this day, when I hear any of those songs, I hear Paul Stanley's voice singing them. Because
you like some masks?
All right, the Phantom of the Opera is there. It's on my mind. You are beautiful, Toronto.
I'm hidden down in the basement. Yeah.
All right.
Who likes a good cake?
He did get good reviews for that. I need to go if I could listen to that. But now that you say that, if you're a remote Kiss fan, if you ever seen Kiss, I mean, God bless Paul Stanley. He's not the best banter on stage. Okay,
Then do
Some of y'all
crowd
like to
work
go out to the masquerade.
somebody
Let's go.
look at Dick. You'll love it. You'll have a special affection for
Oh
it.
no! Watch the chandelier. It's coming down.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody took the time on YouTube and put it. I think it's like 10 hours of nothing but Paul Stanley banter.
Fuck! I need to find that.
Just look at Paul Stanley banter. It'll pop up, I'm sure, on YouTube.
Holy shit! Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
I love it.
It's just gold.
Yeah.
Gold. Yeah. It's
Some of y'all like vodka and orange juice. How about some cold gin?
This makes zero sense. Most of it. God bless him. And I love Paul Stanley.
But everybody in the crowd's like, fuck yeah, let's go out, losing their minds. Yeah, every word he says. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But no, that is
I'm
my
inside your
familiarity.
mind.
Yeah, it's in our minds. So,
I wonder if somebody's done that. Taken the Phantom of the Opera, half mask, and did like the half the kiss painting.
oh,
Face painting on
probably. Yeah, I'm sure.
You should
yeah,
put the
that'd be-
star on it. You should have done that. The missed opportunity.
Yeah, but that is my familiarity with the Phantom of the Opera. So I know the songs, and I know of Paul Stanley singing them and stuff like that. But I've never actually seen it, even the movie version with Gerard. Like I've never actually, and I'm not opposed to it, but I've never actually like sat down and watched the play front to back. So I would like to do that.
I know that the last season of Night Court did a kind of a spoof on it, where Dan Fielding, he went kind of crazy and was and kind of left, and he was left to the bowels of the courthouse building. And he wore the Phantom Opera mask. He oddly enough did kidnap Christine, who is also the character in Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
So that was the beginning where I had first heard of and experienced Phantom of the Opera through Night Court.
I was going to say, you, other than, I would say, second only to me bringing up Jingle All the Way, you probably bring up Night Court more often on this show.
I am completely okay with that. I am completely okay with that.
Yep. Night Court and fucking Quantum Leap.
We need
That was my
drinking games on here. Like every time Dean brings up Night Court or interrupt, every time I bring up Jingle All the Way,
the other two have to yell. You both got to catch it and say drink.
I like it. We should put a convincing idiots rules out there. Drinking game rules.
Specifically every time Brian gets cut off. That's another time you have to take a drink. That happens quite often.
Too drunk.
No, yeah, there's alcohol poisoning things that we have to deal with. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. Maybe every time Brian looks distantly into the void and realizes that women prefer the next guy.
Yes, that's
yep. I do. All seriously, I do like putting some convincing idiots drinking game rules and just post it on Twitter and social media and stuff like that on the website, whatever. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, so if you're listening,
give us some rules. So if you're listening out there,
well, give us some.
Give us some rules out there. Just give us some pointers out there.
There's got to be stuff that like we don't catch that like you hear every time.
Yeah, like throw some rules out there. Yeah, there you go.
You hear
like every time someone interrupts, like you just go ahead and take a drink, or every time Dean goes to talk and somebody else does it, and then like you take a drink.
Yeah.
I know,
because that's typically how drinking games work. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were gonna go. Sorry. So anyway, that's some fun things you can do.
Are you ready for
I'm just trying to explain to people how drinking games work. Yeah, go. I've been waiting for you to go.
I mean, people are sitting here listening, waiting to laugh.
Right.
And instead you're talking.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Start saying things.
I was.
All right. So look for those rules out there. That's a few drinks right there. You're playing along.
Everybody's dead right now.
They're confused and drunk, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which makes this all somehow more enjoyable.
Which, oddly enough, is the way we are right now.
That's right. That's right.
Confused and drunk.
Yep. I caught this. So Pat Sajak is announced that he's going to be winding it down.
I thought he caught Pat Sajak.
Nope. of
He's
the
been
host of
trying
Wheel
for
of Fortune.
years. A giant box with letters on the top.
40 years he's been hosting Wheel of Fortune for 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, it
It is
doesn't seem...
insane.
First of all, he looks goddamn terrific.
He does.
For being such a heavy drinker, too. That is pretty impressive.
He might be.
I can't get away with it.
He can do that show in his sleep anymore. And he's on total cruise control with that show. He does such a good job with it. But yeah, it's like Jeopardy without Alex. It'll be very strange to see someone else do Wheel of Fortune with Pat Sajak. I love him. I think he's great on that show. I mean, I don't watch it very often, but every time I do, it's very comforting.
Does Vanna White get to be the host? She's just like, all these years I've been waiting.
She's been waiting in the wings.
I've been sitting there tapping those goddamn letters, and now
she's been dropping a little bit of poison in his booze every episode, hoping that it would end it, and she gets to move up.
Who do you want to see do? Is anybody out there come to mind?
Vanna White. I'm not joking. I'd like to see Vanna White.
Oh, Vanna.
Yeah,
she could do it. Yeah, she could do it.
And then she has some attractive young guy do the the letter flips and stuff. Yeah, well, it's touching now, right? It's all digital.
Yeah, it's all
flip the script. You let her do this hosting. Yeah. Have some attractive young guy do the letters, and
How about John Hamm? That's what I like. How about that? John Hamm.
Yeah. Shirtless John Hamm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way this goes.
Tune in for that, sure.
Mm-hmm. Just pantsless too. Let's just do the whole pantsless shirt.
Of course, if you're gonna do it, might as well.
Right.
Yeah, do it for the ladies.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
It's all
ladies.
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah,
we want to make sure they're happy.
Ladies want to see that.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it, but if that's what they want, who am I to stand in the way?
If his dong's just hanging there, I mean, you got to peek, right? I mean,
sure, yeah.
Who wouldn't? Brian, I know you would, Colin, right? Right?
Of course, of course.
Peek, long stare, whatever. Whatever floats your boat.
That's right.
Poke at it, flick it. Yep. Whatever. Whatever.
Stop licking the TV screen, Ding.
Might get yourself a Nick Chubb or something like that.
That's right. You're Nick Chubb.
I got a Nick Chubb.
That's right. All right. So we'll move on to how about our idiot inquiry?
Do you have one, Brian?
I do have one.
And if you listen to last week's episode, it was originally idiot question of the week, and like we said, we crowdsourced, and Brian found the smartest person in the room and they came up with idiot inquiry.
That's right.
The smartest person is Brian.
I asked Alexa to tell me some synonyms for question.
He knows the word synonyms. He's smart.
Question.
I like synonym toast.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So the inquiry.
Delicious.
That's right. That's right. So children are obviously, we're getting past the pandemic. Kids are returning to school, of course. And a Missouri school district and a North Carolina county down south, what a shock, are reinstating the use of corporal punishment. So 19 states, including Missouri and North Carolina, allow for this type of discipline in school. So basically, corporal punishment is it's defined as a school
Not
employee.
many people know, though. Not many people know. Corporal punishment, named after Corporal Klinger from MASH.
Yep. Keep trying. That's okay.
Sorry, you can't top synonym toast. That gave me the giggles, and I can't.
That's funny.
Synonym toast.
Yeah, gentlemen, a synonym toast. How about that? Cheers.
Put it up there, Nick.
Cheers. Cheers,
Synonym
Nick.
toast.
Synonym toast. Thank you very much. We just put our glasses up if you're just listening to us on podcast. So, okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
So it's basically
very serious.
It's
people are beating children, and we're not laughing. Okay,
that's right. So
let's get ready to laugh.
School employees have a right to spank or paddle a child as a form of punishment to stop or modify undesirable behavior. So maybe reflect. Now, obviously, is also take our different generations into play here. So, I'm 20 years older than Nick. which still freaks me out every time I say that, and 10 years older than Dean.
Mm-hmm.
So in my time as a Gen Xer, paddling in school was very commonplace when I was in grade school in the 70s and in middle school in the early 80s.
So Brian, did you get paddled?
I
Only gently by one of the teachers that found him quite handsome for a 13-year-old boy.
no, it was a
We're
strange
later
thing.
tonight with Allie.
Sure, hopefully. No, but I went through my entire grade school, 6 years. Okay. And this was literally the last day of school. The last day of school before the summer. Okay. Me and some of my friends.
You were moving on to be in the middle school. This was the end of grade school period.
That's
out
it.
of that
the
building.
Very last day of school is 6th grade. Plus, just last day of school anyway for the summer. Okay.
Sure.
Me and some friends got a little, and it was literally a pebble fight on the playground. So we're sitting on this wall and we're picking at the blacktop on the wall.
I got in trouble for a Bam Bam fight once.
Yeah, and everybody started to tell on each other. I was telling Dean this story last day. It was like a sitcom skit. You're sitting in class, and the speaker comes up. Well, such and such come down to the office, and then 5 minutes later, well, such and such come down. And so the next boy went down and got the heat and told on somebody else, whatever. And it had to have been at least 5 or 6 of us. Okay, it took us into the gym one at a time. It gave us a SWAT to the principal the last day of school for a stupid pebble fight.
Now, was this the thick paddle?
Oh, yeah.
Like the wooden paddle?
Yeah.
And then you got one SWAT?
I think it was one SWAT.
2 hands? I mean, like a baseball bat to the ass?
He was an older
Kick up the legs.
Easy, Nick. Not the kind of baseball bat in the ass that you like.
I mean, he was probably
Blunt end first.
He had to have been in his 60s back then. He looked like he was definitely an older man. Okay.
See, in my head, I picture the principal from Back to the Future in this story.
He was actually pretty. It was weird.
He was pretty.
That's
good.
He was
weird.
like a decent, nice man. It was so weird.
What was his name?
Mr. Dangler.
Oh,
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
Dangler's hitting dingers off your ass there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
And I just picture young little Brian running in. Oh, Mr. Dangler, don't paddle me. I don't know why he's a little Southern gentleman.
It was just weird. I'd never experienced. I mean, my dad would spank me at home with his hand. You know.
Yeah.
Until I don't know, I got a little older. That of course that stopped. But anyhow, just weird. And then I got swatted once in middle school. So middle school, I asked the kids to give me back my pencil. That's literally what I said. He took my pencil. I said, "Hey, give me back my pencil." And the teacher said, "Why are you talking in class?" I said, "He took my pencil. I was asking him to give it back. Never got my pencil back."
Damn.
Took me out in the hall.
You got wood.
Gave me a swat.
You know what I think your problem was with all this stuff? You were too precious as a child.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Little beautiful, little blue eyes, little beautiful little Brian baby, and they were just like too adorable. Kick his ass.
You had such a spankable ass.
Trying to take me down a peg.
Look at that supple bottom. You get your ass to the principal right now.
He walks in first day of school, fucking principal biting on his nail, looking and going, "God damn, look at that ass."
I'm gonna whip that kid. I'm gonna whip that boy.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
But it was just a weird. You'd be sitting in class.
I'm gonna whoop that ass.
Yeah, you'd be sitting in class in middle school, and every so often you'd hear it echo in the hall. It was very.
And then occasionally hear one kid go, "Ah."
It's weird.
Daddy, Daddy.
Okay, you're making it sexual now. It's never been sexual up to this point. I don't know why
definitely not sexual, especially for a young boy.
No,
but
you guys clearly didn't have the fetishes I did as a child. So, anyways, let's move on.
I guess not. No, it was just a weird thing. I don't think for me personally, it was not a deterrent. Because I wanted to be a decent kid anyway. Well, and really, at the end of the day, I did not want to go home to my dad I was more afraid and respectful of my parents. I didn't want my parents to be disappointed in me. That was really the motivation.
So you'd rather get the punishment out of the way at school and it's done, and you don't got to go home and deal with it?
No, I didn't want to get in trouble at all. I didn't want to get in trouble at all. I mean, forget the paddling at school. I didn't want to get in trouble because I just didn't. That's just not who I wanted to be, I guess. But
do you think those 2 times that you were swatted on the ass with a wooden paddle, that made you into the man that you are now?
Sure. Maybe
the law-abiding, upstanding citizen that you are now?
It's like I get beaten down every week doing this show in some respects.
Right,
you know what I mean? So it's just
we're only doing it to make you stronger and a better podcaster.
And a better
person. Like my SWAT. You're like my paddle. Yeah, in some respects.
That. Yeah. It makes me feel nice.
But that's it. That's my experience with paddling at school. And it was crazy, ridiculous, and that's what I think about it. So go ahead, Nick. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, I always knew we served a purpose on the show. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but now I know, and I'm glad.
Yep.
All right, so going through the times, Brian was padded. You were paddled in school.
Well, there was an actual question here, other than us getting all Nick chubbed about Brian being paddled in the ass.
No, but the question is, well, first of all, were you ever paddled? But then the bigger question is, is it a good deterrent? Does it really motivate good behavior in kids? And what would you think if your kid or kids were paddled in school? Would that be something that you would support? How would you want that to handle? Or are you just like, don't fucking touch my kid? That's crazy, and there's no way that would fly. Even if my kid was legitimately bad, teachers have no business paddling kids.
Okay,
what are your thoughts?
Let's go via generation.
Sure.
We'll get to the earliest next. Okay, so I was not paddled. I didn't live in Neanderthal times like you did, Brian. So I was not paddled. It was not a thing. I remember my brother being paddled. He was a few years early.
It still wasn't a thing, but they still hit him just because.
Just because he just fucking deserved it. Yeah. He wasn't even in school. It was just some guy with a wooden stick. He walks by him and just fucking hit him. He's like, you look like you deserved it. Yeah. Nobody said anything. Everybody agreed. So, my brother was, and my dad they called him afterwards, and my dad was only mad. He would have, given the okay or whatever, but it was more of the idea that they didn't call him before. That's what my dad was mad about. Okay. And I'm not cool with that. I don't strike my children, and I don't expect anybody else to either. You know what I mean? That's not how, I don't believe that that's how you deter children or people, really. You know what I mean? What are you teaching kids? That your boss can just strike you in the face or, shove you in the mud puddle? I mean, come on. That's not how the real world works. Why should we teach them in early stages that's how it works if it doesn't? You know what I mean? Like even back in the day, back in the 50s when you were paddle, Brian, there wasn't, you didn't go into the workforce and get hit by your boss. So why would they teach you that at an early stage? What is it about small, vulnerable children that people back then thought that if you struck them and harmed them, it would make them better? It's an absurd idea to me.
I think they literally looked at them like they were pets. Like you would take a rolled up newspaper and hit a dog on the nose and be like, they'll get it. Like that's literally like the extent of.
Like I peed on the carpet once and they rubbed my nose in it. And I had to pay really good money for that. But that's another thing for another time. But yeah, it's absurd to me. It's silly. And if you paddled my son without my knowledge or consent, I mean, in general, you're not going to get it. But if you did it, literally, it would happen to you. I would go into the school, I would find the exact same paddle, and I would bend the adult over my knee and do the exact same thing. I'm not punching him in the mouth. I'm going to swat your ass like you did my son. and mine's going to hurt a little worse than what yours did to him.
And my pants will be off, just so you know.
Me doing it? Yeah, well, of
yes,
course.
right. All right,
Actually,
I'm taking my pants off, and then you're going to bend over my knee, and I'm going to spank you.
Yeah, so there's my thoughts on it. Nick,
Okay.
as the youngest.
As the millennial, I think these kids today are out of fucking control. They need to be taught respect. So you take that shit and lay it down right on their ass. Send the message. No, obviously, everything Dean just said, minus some of the erotica. I would just say, like you said,
Isn't that always the way?
Clearly, I'm the youngest one. That paddling was just not a thing. It's a very archaic thing. It didn't exist when I, even to think that was a thing was odd to people of my generation. Was not spanked. I was spanked. I mean, my dad, like Brian said, I was spanked. With just the hand. If I had done something,
Did you say your dad or Robin? My headphones cut out.
Well, yes, both have, but for very different reasons. Yes,
sure.
Mm-hmm. No, but I.
His dad was the erotic one.
I was, yes. Mm-hmm. I was, that stopped the spanking. Once I gave him that look, he was like, no more. No, like,
you got
that was
job.
Just, I got I was spanked a couple times, not a lot. Like Brian said, it was similar. It was kind of similar upbringing. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. That was never, I really didn't act out much or do much, I don't think, to deserve a spanking. But when I did, it was handled at home, but at school was not a thing. Absolutely unacceptable for anyone who is not a parent or legal guardian of a child. That is a decision that caregiver makes. Okay, if that's something that's the way you want to handle
it's
things,
still silly.
That's on you. But you as a general person at the school have no business laying any type of hands on my children for any reason whatsoever.
You lay hands,
especially in a disciplinary fashion. Exactly. So no, and it's just, come on, like Dean said. We as a society need to be better than that. That's ridiculous. Like, what? Right. You're not teaching them anything. You're only teaching them when they run into a conflict that they have to handle it in a physical fashion.
If you've done me wrong, I will strike you.
Right.
I definitely have had experiences with my kids where they probably deserved being spanked or whatever, what would have been when I was a kid.
Right.
And absolutely. But I always find it works out better by just literally sitting down and having a conversation with them.
Exactly.
Listening to what they have to say, saying that you understand that they, how they felt, but this is not how we handle things. And just take the extra time and just fucking be an adult and have a conversation. Like, that's the only way to teach them. So, nothing major to add to that, but just, like you guys said, that's that.
I was spanked as a kid, and one of the times I remember it was a family, I think it was a Christmas party, and it was like in the living room. I had done something, and my mother swatted me in the ass, and I was old enough to where it didn't fucking hurt, so I turned around and said, "Nice shot, Mom. Is that all you got?" And boy, was she mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was angry. And the only thing that stopped her from just, DDTing me into the ground out of anger was like everybody laughing at her. And looking back at it now, it's kind of it was a dick move of her to strike me, but it was also a dick move to me to embarrass her in front of the whole family. But that's what happened. And so I didn't get. I think that's honestly the last time I remember.
She spoke to you.
That's right. You remember that time you embarrassed me when I fucking punched you? Yeah. Fuck you.
Hope you enjoyed the Christmas presents you got up till you were fucking 9 years old. Never again.
Enjoy that basketball for the rest of your life, dick.
I'll say, Nick's mom has just the right level of the spanking.
Oh yeah, just tell me about it.
Right in that sweet spot.
Tell me about it and talk slow.
We'll talk about it off camera.
Fair enough.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we all agree, spanking kids is wrong. Doesn't make any sense. One thing, guys, I think we will agree that the only wood that you should lay is wood.
He's going to stand up. He's not wearing pants, everybody.
Nope. Oh. Wood that is handcrafted by our sponsor, the Beltmark Amazon store.
Nice.
That's right.
Which he also rarely wears pants, but go ahead.
That's right. That's what I hear. Mark prefers to work and create.
He works like Winnie the Pooh.
Maybe pantsless. I don't know. I'm not so sure. whatever he's doing, it's working, right? So, beautifully handcrafted wood products. They specialize in compost containers for your kitchen countertops, floating liquor cabinets, and floating nightstands. Maybe made pantsless. I don't know. I'm not so sure. But again, whatever he's doing, it's working. There's a beautiful product delivered safely, conveniently, and affordably right through the Amazon delivery service. So, and if you ever meet Mark, maybe we'll picture him, making your product for you,
I feel
however
like
you want to. So
if we did a focus group on that ad read, they'd be like, okay, so, sir, what did you take away from the ad read? What do they make?
I'm sorry.
How do they? And they'd be like, well,
remember.
I think the guy doesn't wear pants, whatever. I don't remember what it is they do, but I think the guy doesn't wear pants when he makes it. I got that.
No, Brian is 1,000% correct.
Yep.
I literally have, I delivered Brian's liquor cabinet to him. It is actually, they're beautiful, beautiful products. The wood is handcrafted and put together beautifully. They are great products. But the reason I kept laughing is after I said the Winnie the Pooh comment, the only thing in my head was repeatedly, there was like, the song Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, but I kept hearing Marky the Pooh, and that just
Marky the Pooh.
Marky the in my head. That's what. Sorry, I apologize for that. That was not.
Guess you had to be there.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm sorry.
So no, it's no synonym toast, but it's pretty good.
That's right. That's right. All right, so we're gonna let Dean compose himself and sing a few more bars of Marky the Pooh. And then we're going to come back and talk about some of our favorite badasses.
Marky the Pooh.
Maybe he'll make the list. Be right back.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. I am a millennial. My name is Nick. I'm here with my friends, co-hosts, Zennial Dean, Gen X Brian. Now, you might be listening to us right now and go, man, those three sound like some bad asses. To which I would say, you're probably right. However, we're not here to talk about us today. We're here to talk about some of our favorite badasses. And I mean, guys, let's be real here. In the spirit of being true badasses, what does a badass do? A badass looks out for others, right? Typically, a badass is something of like a hero, maybe, or is doing something with purpose. So I think.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying badass?
Badass.
I thought the topic was fat ass. Hold on, let me change some
You got to
things.
change your list.
Yeah, you go do your thing.
Okay, so Dean's no longer on the list, but Brian and I are still
fat
on.
ass.
No, I was going to say, instead of saying badass, this is a family-friendly show. Maybe we should switch it to bad butt. Bad butt, people? Bad butt? Just bad butt.
I say fuck that.
Bad buttery. Badassery across the board. So today, we're talking about some of our favorite...
If your kids are listening, you're a bad fucking parent.
Badasses, okay? That could be badass characters. That could be badass actors and actresses. That could be badass scenes, or we want to talk in the world of music or sports, whatever a badass is to you. Any embodiment of the word whatsoever. So I'd like to start with Brian. Who's somebody, Brian, that strikes you as a real badass?
Are we just doing random people, or is this a
Not list.
so
Just-
we're not
we're just-
doing
it's
the
It's
Mount
a
Rushmore type
we'll,
deal?
we'll call it a circle jerk. It's just a circle jerk of talk.
Oh,
You know, just
yeah.
it's a
I-
kind of yeah. You can get behind that.
Brian?
Brian, you're up. Jerk.
I'll start with one of the jersey that I'm wearing. So I'm wearing a Indiana State number 33 jersey, college jersey, who was none other than Larry Bird, who in the 80s, I grew up a huge fan of Larry Bird. So I thought he was from a athletic perspective, he was a badass. He was a white guy that did not look like he was in necessarily terrific shape. Now he got in better shape throughout his career, okay, but he was a beer drinking white dude with a pencil thin mustache that got out there and just flat out hustled people and outskilled people, outsmarted people, and he was one of the most famous trash talkers probably in NBA history. He would tell guys all these stories out there. You go back and you can find all kinds of stuff out there in documentaries and YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, he would tell guys that you need to double team me. You can't guard me, stuff like that, and just put it right in their face, right? So multiple MVP winner, multiple championship winner, and just again, tell you what he was going to do and do it, and there's not much you could do in his prime to stop him. So always liked the great Larry Bird. So I'll start with him. So Dean, do you have one? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my list, I mean, actually this is going to be fun because like when we suggested this, I don't think we really put a narrative on what badass was. You know what I mean? We kind of left it broad,
subjective.
and subjective. What is in your head?
That's right.
I am going to go with I'm going to start with Sam Elliott, because Sam Elliott, to me, I don't know much about his real life, but like every movie he's done, interviews, like he has that voice and the mustache and the salt and pepper hair that he's had since 1938. It's just, he just looks like he just fuck you up. You know what I mean? You say the wrong thing. To me, he's that type of guy that if he sees you mistreating a dog or a woman, he's going to beat your ass just the same.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I don't know if it's true, but to me, just within the look and the voice and the acting, again, watch, what was that? The Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot. That's a real movie with Sam Elliott.
Who killed Hitler and Bigfoot is the name of the movie?
That's the Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot. Find it, watch it. It is fantastic. It's a real movie and it is great. He is a badass, so he is the first person on my list.
Interesting.
Sam Elliott.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Built Ford tough.
Does he do Ford commercials? He does do truck commercials, doesn't he? Yeah. I'm going to piggyback here a little bit, go off of Brian's sport pick here. I do have somebody in the world of sports.
Mm-hmm.
I am going more off of, because I'm not old enough to remember this happening. I was not alive for when this happened. But I'm going to have to go with Herb Brooks, the U.S. coach of the Lake Placid Olympic team that won gold and beat the Russians.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going more off of Kurt Russell's portrayal of him in the Disney movie Miracle.
Mm-hmm.
He was a badass. A lot of the things, especially in the sports world, you know what I mean? This is somebody that grew up playing hockey, played at a very high level, couldn't ever win gold, fell just short in his playing days, but knew what he had to do in his mind. It seemed insane. Everybody's like, there's no way you're going to take a bunch of college kids, especially NCAA players that have these rivalries and hate each other, you're not going to get them on the same page and have a bunch of green college kids go and play the machine that was the Russian national team at the time. There's just no way. They were mercenaries out there. There's just no way. And he got those guys to buy in. He pushed them in every way possible. He made them buy in and play a style of hockey that was sustainable for them to win, and made them believe, and they pulled it off. And I mean, it's a true story, obviously. And
your portrayal and depiction there, I picture the thing like Rocky IV with like the Americans are doing like just yard work and lifting bricks, and like the Russians are doing like steroids and have the machine, because you said machine, you have them like doing machine exercises and stuff, and we did
get the Russian gas.
We just did pure grit.
Yeah.
Beat them.
Well, you guys have seen, I don't know if you've seen Miracle or not, but you're familiar with the scene where he goes again, because they're doing a qualifying game against somebody that they should easily steamroll, and they just get blown out. And so he's like, he sees, here's them talking about girls in the stands or whatever, and he goes, all right, so they're getting off the ice, and he goes, where are you going? It's like, you don't want to work during the game? We'll work now. And he has them skate blue line to blue, or red line to red line, back and forth, over and over, again.
It's a good movie?
Again. Oh, it's incredible. It's an incredible movie. And I mean, it's a true story and everything, but I mean, the acting's great. I love that movie. Every time I watch it, it gets me pumped up. But yeah, I mean, he makes them skate until they're falling over and throwing up and stuff. And, the Zamboni driver comes out and goes, the rink's closing. You're just shutting the lights off. And he goes, that's okay. Leave the keys. We'll lock up. They think they're out of it. He just makes them skate shift after shift after shift. Just works them. So anyway, Herb Brooks was just a badass. I mean, he had a plan. Seemed insane to everybody else, never seemed possible, but he stuck with his plan and he got the job fucking done. So I would have to go with Herb Brooks.
Good choice.
And especially Kurt Russell as Herb Brooks. Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure.
How Kurt Russell could be on the list himself.
Absolutely.
It's a fine choice. The characters that he's played over the years, absolutely. From The Thing to Snake Plissken.
Yeah, I was going to say, Escape.
Yeah. So, sure. Kurt Russell's on the list. It's a badass. Why not? Absolutely.
Big Trouble in Little China. I mean,
sure. That's right. Hateful Eight. There's gonna be a lot of great movies.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Wyatt Earp, of course.
Yeah. With Sam Elliott and Tombstone. Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you. See, look at that.
He's definitely on the list. I have another athlete for you. So, arguably one of the biggest badasses to ever play the game of basketball, Michael Jordan. How about that? So
there you go.
If it, as much as I love Larry Bird, okay, if in his prime, you can pick any player in history in his prime, last shot, and if for your life, okay,
you choose Jordan.
I would,
sure.
Kobe's up there too. Don't get me wrong, for that shot. But I'm going to give it to Jordan. Take my chance that he's going to save my life. Yeah, that's right. So Michael Jordan took everything when he came in the league in '86 to a entirely whole other level of athleticism, and again trash talk and the will to win, and he pushed his teammates. I mean, you see documentaries, and if you haven't seen the Chicago Bull documentary, Last Dance, incredible,
so good.
Go back. They like his teammates hated him and loved him probably at the same time because he pushed them so hard to win, and he obviously did win multiple championships. And so that's it. I'm going with Michael Jordan.
Great pick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm going to go with Count Dooku himself, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, sure.
Not only was Christopher Lee in a bunch of amazing movies, but not a lot of people know that he was a fucking special forces, like assassin type fucking special forces in the Royal Army.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He's the one that had a metal album too, right?
Yes,
he did.
He did his own metal album. He was
Dracula.
Fucking yep.
Many movies. Yeah.
Count Dooku. I mean, the dude was a badass. I mean,
Man with the Golden Gun against James Bond. Yeah, absolutely.
When you do all that, and you could back the shit up in real life because you probably killed a lot of people with your bare hands.
Yeah,
Christopher Lee is a badass.
Yeah,
that's my pick.
Good pick. Solid.
Yeah. Very good.
Nick?
I'll kind of pick now. See, I'm finding my openings here. Like you guys
Sure.
are helping me segue in here. So I would have to say I'll stick with the Star Wars theme here. This is an easy pick. I'm sure he's on probably everybody's list here. Okay, Darth Vader, obviously, badass, just an iconic character throughout pop culture, just in general, right? I would argue there might not be a more iconic villain in all of pop culture than Darth Vader. Darth Vader is like the villain of all villains, but definitely a badass. And I would like to point specifically to a specific scene in
when he killed the women and children,
when he blew up Alderaan, right?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, in a bad guy sense, that's fucking badass.
pretty badass.
Like, zero fucking remorse. Like, blew up his daughter's home planet in front of her with everybody. Like, that is badass. I mean, it's horrible. I don't condone
Good
it.
thing he didn't have any pockets to carry the fucks because he has none to
That's
give.
right. No, but I was going to go with the scene where just in Rogue One, where it's leading into him coming into, where the hallway there, just slicing through everybody, just going, throwing everybody against the wall. Just, so
And
incredible.
the most beautiful thing about that was he probably had just about as amount of screen time in Rogue One than he did in The New Hope. And he struck enough fear in the 1977 with just the amount of screen time that he had, and he did just the same in Rogue One with minimal amount of screen time. I mean, that character done right is the badass, right?
Yeah, striking, menacing, mysterious. Checks all the boxes.
And then Rogue One shows you what you just assumed he was,
right,
in A New Hope and the rest of the movies.
Yeah, yep, 100%. So yeah, I'm gonna throw Darth Vader in there, and actually, little sidebar here. I didn't actually write him down, but why does this fucking the voice of Darth Vader? Why can't I think of his name?
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Thank you so much. I don't know why. James Earl Jones. Okay, not only the voice of Darth Vader, but Mufasa. Okay, striking voice. Immediately recognizable. Okay, so
Moonlight Graham.
I would give a sidebar to
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Big fan over here.
Huge fan.
Big fan.
We talked about him, Nick, in our Arnold episode that you and I did alone.
Did you remember his name then?
I knew it then. I did.
Yes.
Okay.
He was a very good villain in Conan the Barbarian, one of the best movie villains, in my opinion, as well. He was very, very good in that movie. It's like the Snake King or whatever he was then. The cult, the head of the cult. All right. Okay. Who is it me?
Dean, or I'm sorry, no,
Dean?
it's Brian's turn.
Okay. It's Brian. And Brian.
All right, I'll do so. And I'm looking at the superheroes now from in the world of comics. To me, there's definitely a lot of badass heroes out there, but I think the tops is Batman. So obviously, we all know who Batman is, driven to revenge for the death of his parents, and as we all know, he's got no
Look at my
superpowers.
pajamas.
Yeah, just his smarts, his strength, his fighting ability, and his gadgets.
He is James Bond and Darth Vader mixed together.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
Sorry. What? He is.
Yeah, from the superhero world, I think Batman's the biggest badass in many respects. All things considered.
I think most of all because he doesn't have a superpower.
That's right.
He's that kick-ass as a regular-ass dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, he's wealthy and, is very intelligent, but, seriously, that's some impressive shit.
Okay.
And actually,
if you want to do the whole superhero back and forth again like we did back in season 1.
We'll bring up Martian Manhunter, Dean. Don't worry. Martian Manhunter will make his appearance.
You're a sack of shit. You know that? You're a sack of shit. No, I am talking about, let's put face-to-face Tony Stark against Bruce Wayne. Put them in their suits, see what happens.
Well, yeah. But
you're talking about, he's rich and he doesn't have any powers. So was Tony Stark, and he could just laser fucking cut his pajama-wearing ass in half.
Actually, Batman could probably do it. There again, I don't know if they ever met in the battle bracket, but that would be interesting.
It would have been, actually.
Again, time to prepare. I mean, literally,
That was our rule. You had time
Batman
to prepare. You know ahead of time who you were going to fight. That was our
Batman
rule.
defeated Superman because he knew what he had to do that.
Yeah,
So
in the comics, he did.
why wouldn't he
That's
be
right.
able to defeat Tony Stark?
Well, ladies
And
and
the
gentlemen,
movie.
if you're
Movie
curious, curious about what if you're curious about what we're talking about, go back to season 1. We did a superheroes battle bracket that lasted 48 years. Go back and listen to all the episodes and see who we thought won the superhero battle bracket between DC and Marvel.
Brian?
All mixed together.
Yes.
Mhm.
I do have I have a couple specific scenes written down, and I'm glad you brought up Batman because I wrote down the opening battle scene in the newest The Batman with Robert Pattinson, where he just goes
All right, that was
just
cool.
Merciless on
You're
these
right.
like
that
picking,
was cool.
coming
The
off the
Joker guys?
subway there. They come off the subway train there.
All right.
And
All
he
right.
just, I mean, relentlessly beats them to a pulp. It was so awesome. It was like one of the most, it was probably one of the better, like,
God
just,
damn it.
you know, where you're just enjoying the shit out of it. Because typically you're rooting for the good guy, the superhero, and he's on a roll. Oh, but then something comes along, and not this time. No, this dude just literally beats the shit out of these guys.
That's pretty
It was
fucking
awesome.
badass.
Yeah.
You're right. Damn it. Okay. All right. After describing that scene, all right, I'm on board.
Okay. I've convinced the idiot. I win.
Wait. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
Plenty of scenes like that in the comics and everything else with Batman as well. You're coming back from getting his back broken to, the whole thing. So go ahead, Dean.
All right. I'm going to bring our first female onto the scene here.
Xena, Princess Warrior.
I could let you guess. I could let all of you guess for 1,000 years, and you're not going to guess who my next badass is. Go ahead,
I do. Go. Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Nope. It is Julia Childs.
Okay.
Nick, guessing by your silence and the puzzlement on your face, Julia Childs was a TV chef in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. I mean, she went for a long time, but not many people know that Julia Childs, upon being a celebrity, was also a spy for the CIA during World War II. She went to these different parties in Europe and spied for the CIA on the Nazis in World War II. So all of this Julia Child's portrayal that she did, which it was her voice in her 60s and 70s, but she also was a fucking spy for the CIA.
That's pretty cool.
And she stopped a specific mission because they were blowing up submarines with these certain kind of bombs. And whatever mission she went on, stopped it. So she saved a shit ton of naval servicemen, U.S. naval servicemen and Britain's servicemen because of her actions. And that's just one thing that she did as being a spy. So Julia Childs as my next badass.
Interesting. Good pick. Cool. Julia Childs.
Yeah, Nick, the old SNL skits, Dan Aykroyd used to play her.
Yes.
I said that's okay.
When he would cut his hand and the blood would be spurting everywhere. He was imitating Julia Childs.
That's what I'm saying is when I researched this, I started seeing a bunch of different stuff like that, and I'm like, oh shit, that's got to be on there.
Yep.
So, Nick, what you got there, bud?
Well, okay, so my next pick is they may not have been spies for the CIA. They may not have beaten a bunch of punks to a bloody pulp coming off the subway or have a lot of money or inventions. They may not have coached hockey teams to greatness, nor have they slam dunked their way to many titles. However, they have slam dunked their way onto this podcast a time or two and into our hearts with their wonderful brand of electric bikes. What if you're looking for true badassery, look no further than our friends at RPM Bike Shop. They are located very near here, right here in Carrollton, Ohio. They're only a quick phone call away at 330-808-7792, or just type on your keyboard in that little Facebook search bar, RPM Bike Shop, or you can even go to their website, rpmbikeshop.com, to see all of their wonderful electric bikes that are available for purchase for you today. And in no time, you can be on your very own electric journey to badassery with our friends at RPM Bike Shop. Give them a call today.
Pretty good.
So they
Excellent.
are badasses.
Done, sir.
They are
done.
They are badasses.
They
I
are.
have a lot of different ways to go here. I've got I'm trying to think. What do you
I hear you at least go 2 ways.
In the spirit of having a female on the list, I do have a female on here. This kind of ties in again to a scene. I'm going to make it brief because I know neither of you have ever watched the show, but anyone out there who is a Game of Thrones fan, if I tell you Arya Stark, you would agree that she is indeed a badass. Arya Stark is the youngest daughter of the people who live in the north, the Stark family of Winterfell, whatever. So she is born into royalty, right? She could be a lady and married some high lord or king or something like that. But instead, at a very early age, she decides she wants to be a swordsman. She has a liking to playing with swords and things like that, and then her world gets turned upside down, everything falls in the shitter, and not only does she become a prominent swordswoman, I don't know how that works, but she becomes a mercenary. She does a lot of training and things like that with the Faceless Man, which is this whole thing. It's a secret society of mercenaries. Anyway, Arya Stark has a very big part at the end of Game of Thrones in taking down the White Walkers. So anyone who has watched that show knows what I'm talking about, but Arya Stark is phenomenal. Like I said, just this young girl with a little tiny, she called it Needle, was the name of her sword. Just this little needle-looking thing, but she was kick-ass. I mean, she could tangle with the best of them. So I'm going to put Arya Stark in there. So there we go.
All right.
And of course,
Very good.
RPM Bike Shop.
Of course.
Yes.
Excellent.
So, Brian, what say you next?
I'll offer also a female to the list. How about that? So I'm going to stick with another athlete
It's
here.
the broad round.
That's right. So probably just played her last game of tennis professionally.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
How about the great Serena Williams, one of the winningest, or is she the winningest female of all time? I believe with her
makes
her
sense.
championships, and one of the most in tennis, period. So just an incredible athlete, flashy, powerful. I mean, certainly her sister Venus is up there as well, but just a force out there. I was never a huge tennis fan per se, but you can't ignore her accomplishments on the court, and just an amazing athlete all the way around. So I'll offer up Serena Williams on the list of badasses. How about that?
Hell yeah. Nice pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. All right. I've got a couple more here. I'm gonna go with Robert Mitchum. Robert Mitchum is a famous actor from the 1940s and 50s. It was either him or John Wayne. You know what I mean? Because like these guys were in the same boat of like they played so many rough and tough cowboys and badasses. But the only difference is like John Wayne was a actor who, he was just big and handsome, and so they put him in the movies. Robert Mitchum actually was in jail at 14 years old and broke out of a chain gang at 14 years old and made got so stuff like that. He was a Golden Gloves boxer. After that, so I mean, so when you see the golden age, the golden ages of movies, back in the 40s, 50s, or whatever, a lot of these guys portray badasses. But Robert Mitchum, I mean, and all these guys looked old, no matter what age they were, they always looked 40, right? But I remember Robert Mitchum, as an old man actor. And then, the older I got, I started going back and watching the, younger Robert Mitchum, and he was a badass in all these movies. Turns out he's a badass in real life.
How about that?
escape from a goddamn chain gang at 14 and a semi-pro boxer shortly after. So
one of the most of all actors of all time, one of the most manliest voices
yes,
ever.
Yep.
Just
absolutely.
Just like
kind of like the Sam Elliott thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had that feel, that badass actor feel. And it turns out, I don't know anything about Sam Elliott about it, if he was in real life badass, but goddamn Robert Mitchum was.
Yeah.
So Robert Mitchum is my next pick.
Right.
Yep, very good. Nick, do you have another one?
Nikolai Volkov.
So I'm deciding this on the fly because I had a couple characters written down, but it occurred to me as I'm looking at them, it's clear who needs to be on my list. I've got, Venom written down. Big fan. Love Venom. Very badass. Look very, just very menacing, very cool. I also have Spawn, which I brought up on one of our recent episodes. Again, very cool. His whole, point in this afterlife now is vengeance and, trying to avenge his death and, all this stuff. But truly, at the heart of this, Venom and Spawn, the true badass of picks here that I have to make is the creator of both of these characters, Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane,
Sure.
Not only does he create badass characters, but I have to say, as a career on the whole, there's got to be no one with a more badass repertoire than Todd McFarlane. He's worked for both DC and Marvel prior to walking away from Marvel and starting his very own comic book company, Image Comics, that's been running for 35 years now or something like that. And to this day has, like I said, the longest running independent comic book of all time. It's the longest running comic book, and it's still going in Spawn. So Todd McFarlane, not to mention all the figurines and things like that with the great detail, the toys that he's made, and he's had his
He's a rich badass.
He is a rich badass, yeah. And I mean, he's got contracts with all these big brands. I mean, he's made music videos for Pearl Jam and Disturbed, and he's had there was a TV show on Spawn, and there was I mean,
like he was the director for all those?
No, he's illustrated
for some of them?
He's illustrated their music videos that were animated. He did one for Disturbed, 10,000 Fists or something.
I know that one.
But he did do the Evolution for Pearl Jam and stuff like that. I mean, just really cool stuff. It just seems like his job has no boundaries. It's basically like, you like that thing? You think that's cool? I'll get involved in it, whether it's through figures or his artistic abilities or whatever.
Can you imagine being that?
It's just so cool.
Can you imagine doing that, guys? Like, I mean, what we do here, I mean, we have fun bullshitting with each other and trying to make us and other people laugh. But
it is a nice runners-up prize to be able to do a podcast. But
no, but I'm saying is imagine being that creative to where like you just go, you tell the world, here's my fucking brain, and like all this shit happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and then you just get paid for it, left and right.
Yep.
You're right. That's a badass.
Yeah. So
he
definitely
at the time. Yeah, I remember that he had just created Venom and Spider-Man, and they gave him his own books. He had his own Spider-Man book that he could do anything with it. And right at the height of that, like you say, all of a sudden he was gone. Boom! He just said, "I'm taking my chance on myself." And
that's crazy.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Okay, good. You got me thinking about movie actors too. And, we talked about some of our favorite action heroes. That's a prior episode. You can go back and listen to that. And so some of these will overlap a little bit here. But one of my favorite movie badasses. By the way, I was thinking about that. I think Robert Mitchum, I think he narrated Tombstone, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's his booming voice in the movie. Yeah.
That's right.
But I love, speaking of Westerns, I love old Westerns. It's something that has grown on me over the years. My dad was a big Western fan. Didn't appreciate them later. But Clint Eastwood, all right, so I'm going to offer you.
Sure.
So many movies with him. He's just a badass. Even as in his older years, continues to play a lot of badass roles. He just has that look, that scowl. He's got that natural voice, the badass sounding voice. Yeah, of all movie badasses, Clint Eastwood is definitely. I don't necessarily agree with some of his political views,
Sure.
but as far as his movie acting and his roles in movies with Dirty Harry and The Man with No Name and a lot of these westerns he was in, very, very good. Loved him in the movies. So there you go, Clint Eastwood, as far as actors are concerned, for me.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great pick.
Nick, any more?
Well, I've
Go ahead.
I've got one or two. How much time do we have left? Because I've got my final one, but if not, I can do a brief one.
Real quick. It's
mention.
getting late.
Okay.
It's getting late.
All right, so I'm going to do a brief mention real quick. Buzz Aldrin, he fucking landed on the moon, and he at 80 years old, he punched out a guy that told him he didn't land on the moon, and he was full of shit, and he punched like this 20-some-year-old guy on the street. There's video of it. Look it up. It's amazing.
Oh, wow.
80-some-year-old Buzz Aldrin. This guy's walking down trying to do a gotcha interview. Tell us you didn't land on the moon. Tell us you didn't land on the moon. Tell us you were a coward. And when he fucking said coward, Buzz Aldrin just bam, bam, bam. 3 punches just dropped this kid. It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Look up the video. Buzz Aldrin,
Great.
badass.
Awesome.
My final one, guys. It's a female. She was a beautiful, amazing actress in the 1940s and 50s. She starred in a lot of, just the common guy meets girl type movies of the 40s and 50s. Sultry, beautiful. I think she was Austrian born or German born or whatnot. And her name was Hedy Lamarr.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Hedy Lamarr is a badass, not because of her acting, but because while she was doing the acting, she was so fucking smart that while she was doing the acting in all these movies, World War II was happening, and all these guys are getting killed by all these bombs and stuff. So she developed, and I had to write this down because it's beyond my fucking knowledge. She invented what was called frequency hopping. She invented frequency hopping. Frequency hopping it spreads the spectrum, is a method of transmitting radio signals by rapidly changing the carrier frequency among many distinct frequencies, occupying a large spectral band. Now, what that means, I know.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Right. What that means is she developed.
Don't say you don't fucking learn nothing on this show out there.
Honestly, what that did was like when they had like these bombs that radar bombs, what is that where it zones in on you? Frequency hopping is where it would bounce them off to where they couldn't track.
And turn them into like rainbows?
Yes. But she saved so many people by selling. She didn't sell this to the military. Unfortunately, she died poor and alone because she was a woman and they didn't take her seriously. So she had to go through many different channels to get this idea out to the military, which they used and they still use today. And actually, it is the grandfather and grandmother, whatever you want to call it, of GPS and Bluetooth. Without Hedy Lamarr, we would not be doing this right now. Anytime you use your telephone, your smartphone, anytime you turn on your smart speaker, anytime you want to find the way to get, wherever on the GPS, thank Hedy Lamarr. Without Hedy Lamarr, this isn't a thing. And she died penniless and just an older woman back 2000, actually, I think she died. She was dead like 1917 she was born. But because she was a woman, she didn't get her flowers until like after she died.
Yeah. You said she was an actress?
Yeah, that was, and that's why they discredited her and wouldn't listen to her, because she was just this beautiful actress, like a Marilyn Monroe type thing. She was the sultry, beautiful siren. So nobody would take her seriously as an inventor. And that was just one of many things she invented. She was a brilliant, brilliant woman who didn't get nearly what she get fucking anything that she deserved and people started recognizing her after she died, which is despicable. But Hedy Lamarr saved so many of our troops during World War II, and she makes this podcast possible. So she might be a villain for that, but in general, Hedy Lamarr is, to me, the biggest badass of them all.
Very good.
Wow.
Nick,
Yeah,
you got one more?
Very good. I do have one more. Very good one. So, okay. You know, we've been discussing a lot about characters that have played badasses and different characters that are badass. I should say actors that played different badasses. So, obviously, big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Brian and I did a whole podcast on it.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has a large repertoire of playing badass characters, but I think across the board, everybody can, recognize one specific character. It's a cultural, it's undeniable, right? The black leather jacket, the boots, the motorcycle, the shades, just the machine that he was in Terminator.
Yes.
Was incredible. However, his role as Howard Langston in Jingle All the Way was a true badass in every sense of the word. And let me tell you exactly why before you start laughing at me. I will tell you why.
I'm listening.
So, I like to think that all three of us here, I consider us all to be very good fathers. Very good, dutiful, loving fathers. We all love our children. We're there for them. We love them. We do just about anything to make them happy and put a smile on their precious little cherub faces. However, how many amongst us here, after, I don't know, about maybe like the third trip to the store when they didn't have a Turbo Man, would have been like, well, I guess I'll just get a gift certificate for one later. Not Howard Langston.
Nope.
This fucking badass didn't stop at a few different stores. He went, he got caught a brawl with a bunch of underground counterfeit Santa Clauses, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Multiple run-ins with the law, including bomb threats and things like that. Flying around the city, hung out with Sinbad, breaking and entering.
Yeah, that's right.
Got in, punched a reindeer, fought a fucking reindeer, right? Howard Langston would stop at nothing to get that precious little Jamie, the Turbo Man, that he wished for Christmas. And therefore, Arnold Schwarzenegger, sidebar, you are a badass, sir.
There you
for
go.
all that you accomplished, for coming over to this country, for building yourself up physically and mentally and getting into politics,
socially,
helping people, all that he has done, right? Not to mention for giving so many different role models, whether it be Conan or Dutch from Predator or the Terminator or Howard Langston for us average Joes that just want to be a good dad. Howard Langston is a badass because he would rest at nothing until he got that Turbo Man for little Jamie.
Excellent. I like it.
Sure.
I like it. I have one more. I'm not saying it's just there's plenty more. We could talk about this for hours.
Oh, I could keep going and talking about Howard Langston or Jingle.
Yes.
There's many extra badasses in Jingle All the Way.
Absolutely.
I could even talk about Booster if you really want to.
Not really, but that's okay. But
not really.
Has anybody brought up us? Come on.
I will say this is not my pick here right now, but we have been showing up to do this show. We've mentioned this recently. We're coming up on 2 years here. Virtually every single week for almost 2 years consecutively. At least two of us. Somebody has something every so often. That's life.
That's pretty impressive.
That's not there's not a lot of shows that do that out there, right? So, give us a goddamn subscribe, will you? Hey, jeez.
Would it kill you to hit the button?
Give us our flowers.
Come on. Yeah, you don't have to listen. Just subscribe. At least you get notified.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you have the ability to hold it and it'll do a drop down and you can click played. No, you can click played where it just shows that you listened, but you didn't have to listen.
Come on, will you? Yeah.
Makes us feel nice.
Yeah.
Gets our numbers up. The fuck do I care if you actually heard me?
That's right. Will you? Yeah. All right. So one more. You could be the biggest badass out there by rating and reviewing and sharing. How about that?
I like how we turn that around.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You.
That's right. Or you might also be a badass. How about that? You could be a badass out there. Rate, review the show, and getting yourself a tattoo.
Oh,
Look like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looks somewhere like a badass with a tattoo,
look like
right?
a badass.
Yeah, if you're in the Northeast Ohio area, the Norton, Ohio area, you can go check out our sponsor, the Golden Heart Tattoo, Scott Oswald and his partners, goldenhearttattoos.com. Check out their website or give them a call at 234-706-2982. Make yourself an appointment. Their books fill up very quickly. So thank you for their sponsorship. Anyways, my last one here, another athlete, gentlemen. This man, I think, invented the trash talk, and he had the ability to back it up. How about the greatest, Muhammad Ali? How about that? So, one of the greatest.
If you're gonna
boxing,
name an athlete badass,
Yeah,
he's up there, right? So
that's the ultimate.
he had, obviously, he started, he became more popular in the 60s, through crazy racism and everything else. He was an activist out there.
He went to jail and lost his title and lost his boxing license for 5 years to protest the war. He gave up everything because he didn't want to go and kill people.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, think about that. Proclaimed himself the greatest constantly, and had the ability and the will to back it up. Obviously, he's a heavyweight champion a few times over. And you name me one other mortal, besides maybe Batman, but I'm a boxer. No other boxer ever had the ability to go toe-to-toe in the boxing ring with a great Superman in the famous comic book special where Superman lost his power. So Superman was just basically fighting on his own strength because he fought on a planet without the yellow sun, and It was a draw. So,
Wow, it's a
Pretty
good
amazing
record
stuff.
against Superman for boxing.
But also,
Sure.
pretty amazing man.
I'd be more impressed if I was Superman to go to draw with Muhammad Ali. So
probably, absolutely right. So that's what
it's not like he beat Martian Manhunter in a boxing match, but Superman's still pretty good.
That's right. All right. So, guys, we can talk about this a whole heck of a lot longer.
We have to do this another week.
We do.
All right.
So, several more, I'm afraid.
Several more.
several more.
That's right. So, Nick, how about this? Since you are one of the most the greatest badasses of outros of any podcast, right?
Yeah.
So, how about you pick or it could be a mishmash, whatever you want to do. As far as we want to hear.
He just hangs up.
A badass. No, a badass.
Up to me.
Outro.
Done.
Whether it be someone you're imitating or several people that however you want to do it. How about a badass outro, please?
Well, how about this? We've heard a lot of love for the great Sam Elliott this evening.
Ooh.
So how about we give that a try?
Can I real quick before you start?
Yes.
Browns won.
Okay.
Cleveland Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. So sorry. Go ahead. I told you I would keep everybody updated, and I haven't actually. But
this will come out like on Monday, like days after the game.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Whatever.
Tune in to Convincing Idiots.
Just so you know, like 4 days ago, the Browns.
You're very delayed.
Brian, did you know that they won?
No, I did not.
There you go. So I'm telling Brian. All right.
Okay. All right, good deal.
2 mediocre AFC teams. We'll give you all the updates, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Yeah. And top of the 6th inning, the Guardians are up. I don't know. Maybe are they winning right now? I don't know.
This just in: the Yankees won the 1968 World Series.
Brian, did you know that? Well, I'm telling Brian then. Fuck off.
Pretty amazing. Go ahead, Nick.
Spoiler alert, everybody! Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
All right,
go
well,
ahead.
enough of this silliness. I don't know if this sounds like Sam Elliott or not, but it's going to be my best try.
Let's
go.
do it.
Well, I don't.
Nice sarsaparilla.
I can't tell you what to do with your time, but what I can tell you to do is if you want to find more convincing idiots, you can head on over to their link tree. That's right. Go out yonder in the backyard and find the biggest tree with the most amount of links. And there you will find all of the links to convincing idiots.
To people out there, if you're just listening, if you're not seeing this, I know you cannot tell the difference right now. If this is really the Sam Elliott.
It's not Sam Elliott. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
It's very, man, it's frightening.
That's right, young whippersnapper. This is Sam Elliott.
Hold on. I need the whole experience. I'm going to cover my eyes. Go ahead.
Go ahead and close your eyes and smell this finger and tell me what it smells like.
Sam, is that you?
More like a nice sarsaparilla or a lady from up downstairs. There you go. So Sam Elliott's going to tell you where you can go and find all your link trees. All you have to do all you have to do now, Harry, and go on over, Google Convincing Idiots link tree. And there you're going to find all the links for all the places you can listen to Convincing Idiots. You can also head on down to convincingidiots.wordpress.com, and there you're going to find all them same links.
He sounds like a southern mattress salesman. Come on down to the mattress factory.
It's almost like that kid that the one American Idol that with a deep voice. What was that kid's name?
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
It's kind of like that kid. No, it's good though. Go ahead. Yeah.
You can kiss your boring podcasts and your sleepless nights goodbye with our fresh mattresses and our great podcasts. So be sure to go on over, like, subscribe, rate, review, and then hop on your horse, put in your Apple earbuds, and listen to Convincing Idiots. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am Nick, and I am a millennial. Badass.
Fuck it. I am the Zennial they call Dean.
I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. I am the greatest. Gen X Bri.
Very nice. Jesus.
Yes. Have we convinced you that every time you turn on the Convincing Idiots podcast, you should yell out a big thank you to Hetty
Lamar.
That's
and
right.
You get a good old Nick Chubb.
Hetty Lamar. That's right. So kiss them Nick Chubbs goodbye until next time for another episode of Convincing Idiots.
After hearing that, they will.
Good night.
Gen X Brian here. Zennial Dean. Millennial Nick. If you like our stuff, give us a like and subscribe. And we made to send you a Polaroid of Millennial Nick's feet. I normally charge 5 cents for a mustache ride, but in your case, 10 cents.